Welcome, Mr. Denome. This is a market update for Bitcoin and the crypto markets. And the most interesting update, in my opinion, right now is the SP 500 index. Even though it's not about the crypto, there's a large correlation between SP 500 and the Bitcoin as well. So for that reason, S&P 500 is quite interesting. And as you can see already on the chart, you can see S&P 500 was at this downtrend for a while, and now we're actually hovering above it. And in itself, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it's just an indicator or like a signal that we may be actually breaking out. What we really need is to go above this 4,100 level, so we have a higher high. We don't have that yet, but it's quite interesting that we're currently above the trend line, but we are still inside the RSI, triangle. So we haven't broken out through that one yet. But there's another thing, and this is the most important or interesting thing right now. If you take out the moving averages of the 50 days and 200 days and you map it out, you can see every now and then you have a cross here on the chart. So a cross like this one, this is a golden cross. And a cross that follows is a death cross. So usually when you have a golden cross, it signals a bull market. And this is a time when large investors, institutions, they are seeing it as a bull market and they start investing into the market as well. And then you can have a consistent bull market for a while, but the signal is not always 100%. Like you can have mixed signals like this one here as well. So it's not 100%, but it's just a signal that a bull market may be going on. And right now we're still in the bear market, right? As you can see, the cross has not happened, but this cross is about to happen in just a few trading days. So next week we probably have a cross here. And if we do, that's going to be a bullish signal for the markets, and we can actually propel to make a higher high on top of this one, and then that's another signal for a bull market. So if we do have a golden cross, that's probably going to be a very, very good signal for the markets and for continuation of the bull market that we're currently seeing. Not continuation of the bull market, but a continuation of the bullish momentum. Another thing is if we take a look at the Bitcoin price chart here, you can see that we're also about to get a cross here as well. So a golden cross is about to come on the Bitcoin market as well. And this maybe will happen not in a week, but in 2 weeks or so. So as long as the Bitcoin price continues to hover sideways and doesn't crash down below the moving averages, that's when this will eventually happen in a week or so, week or two or so. So that's very, very interesting. Another interesting thing about the Bitcoin market right now is that we did break out through this resistance line here. We did have a touch here, and now we actually broke through it on just one go, basically. And last week we did hover above or below this resistance line here as well. So once we broke through that, that's a very, very good signal now that Bitcoin does have a lot of strength in it. Even though the RSI is currently at the overbought value on the daily chart, we may have a pullback or even a pullback to this level here, maybe, who knows. But either case, this shows strength. And typically you don't see these kind of strengths above the previous levels in a bear market. So this may be a move to a new paradigm. And you can see here, Bitcoin already came out of the trend line here, which S&P 500 is just about to do, or is almost coming out of the trend over there. So both of these things are good for Bitcoin, but just as a warning, there's the opposite side, which is the dollar index, DXY, and this maps out how valuable dollar is against other assets and other currencies in the market. And when we zoom out, let's actually go to the weekly view here, and you can see that this is a massive support line here, and we're about to hit it. So what we may have is a bounce to the upside from the support line here, or we just crashed through it. And if we have a golden cross, that's when we probably crash through. But if we don't have a golden cross, that's when DXY will probably continue to go upwards and have a bounce. So this is kind of like an opposite signal for the for the golden cross. So I cannot ignore this either. So right now, even though there's potential bullish signals, we do not have a golden cross on Bitcoin, and we do not have a golden cross on SP 500. So because of these things, I cannot get overly bullish yet. So we have to continue and monitor the situation. But if we do have a golden cross, expect to see a lot of bullish news and a lot of sentiment shifts, and everybody saying like, "Oh, I knew this is the bottom." But it's how it is. People are always like that. Even I am like that sometimes. But just be careful for both sides. Personally, I did take bets on the crypto markets. I did take bets on Dogecoin, 1inch, and on Balancer this week. So those are my bets for this week that I took. I think all of them are quite interesting, and they have very solid reasons why they might be pumping soon. So anyway, that's basically pretty much the update. There's not much more to say. The fundamentals, if we take a look at CryptoQuant or something else, all of these indicators that are here, and I did not see anything interesting there. One interesting thing was on gmx.io. So this is the leverage exchange for mostly retail investors, and you have a lot of long positions here, even more than before, but short positions are only $21 million. So the ratio between longs and shorts on GMX have continued to diverge, which means that the retail investors are probably overexposed to the longs. But I don't know how reliable this indicator here is, so it may not be that reliable. But just an interesting to notice that there's a lot of long positions, 160 million versus 21 million on the short side. So all in all, let's actually take a look at the Ethereum USD also. So let's go here. Ethereum USD, and let's map out the golden cross. It's not even close to having a golden cross on the. No, sorry, this is the weekly view. Yeah, it's almost the same as Bitcoin. So no golden cross here on Ethereum either. But overall, the market is very, very interesting, but probably not going to be much more interesting things to happen until we have that golden cross. So for the next week, I wouldn't expect anything crazy. But if we do have the golden cross, that's probably gonna propel the market to the upside as well. But if we don't have a golden cross and the markets plummet, it may be a good time to actually sell some of the positions if they haven't crashed on that time. But like I've said in the past, a lot of these assets like Ethereum, UNCX, well, not UNCX, but 1inch, Balancer, they're still lagging behind. They haven't had any big pumps. Even Doge hasn't had a big pump. So let's actually take a look at the Doge BTC for once, because I'm talking about it. Personally, I don't really want to invest too much in these meme coins. I made a strategy for trading for Doge BTC, but just as a quick update, this is a little bit different strategy than I explained in the video about the Doge. Basically, if we just take a trend view, you can see we are still under the trend here. The RSI has been going to the downside here, but there are a few interesting points here. First is that we had a lower low here on the market, but the RSI is already pushing us upwards here at the far end. And also, if we take a look at this low here on the RSI, you can see that this higher low here had a lower low on the RSI. So there's a divergence in there as well. So a few divergences at the same time on the chart here. And also, if we take a look at the longer view, you can see that we're just hovering above this support line here. So for all these reasons, Doge just looks like an interesting pick rather than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin kind of already ran its market. Now it's going to probably be sideways. Maybe some of these altcoins that I talked about in this video, or maybe some other ones, will pump during this week, in the coming week, before we have the bullish cross on the S&P, and then it's time for Bitcoin to pump. Or maybe the cross doesn't happen, but overall I just I like to take these bets. If you don't take any bets, you cannot win the market either. So that's basically where we are right now. If we do have a golden cross, expect me to be a lot more bullish than I am currently, but just wanted to make this brief update to show you guys that right now you may still be a little bit cautious, but when we do see a golden cross on the S&P 500, I think that's going to be very, very good. So we don't have that yet, so don't overextend, but just keep an eye out for it. I will make a video about it when it actually happens or doesn't happen, maybe 1 day or 2 days later. But anyway, I will be making a video about that. So if you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.